First of all, this movie is so much fun. I don't think I've laughed harder in a Marvel movie, like, ever. And
I love
Ragnarok
it.
is great, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
saying
yeah.
something. Now, there's so many comedy elements to this, and you have so many great performers. Randall Park stole it for me.
Excellent.
I love his character. How much of that was on the page, and how much of that was just those guys?
Well, I love Randall. I've been a fan of his for a while, and the idea of bringing him in and looking at Agent Jimmy Woo, who's a character in the comics,
Sure.
and sort
Agent
of like what's
Atlas.
yeah, and so what's the version of Agent Woo going to be like in our movie? And Randall is someone who is a great foil for Scott Lang, for Paul Rudd, and to see those guys riff together, because Randall can hang, and he gives as good as he gets with Rudd. And it was really, Randall and I worked a lot together about making Agent Woo, like, he can't be a joke because he has a function in this story.
Sure.
He's the guy who's keeping tabs on Scott Lang. But we also liked the idea that maybe he really wanted to be friends with Scott Lang. Like,
Yeah,
he really
yeah.
kind of envies him a little bit, and there's that back and forth. And his performance is one of my favorite things in the movie.
Now, one thing I said, move over Black Widow, because Evangeline Lilly's Hope kicks ass. She's so great in this movie. So how long was this idea floating around? Because this is really, I mean, it's an ensemble, obviously, but this is, I think it's mostly focused on Hope and Hank a lot.
Yeah, and I think after the first movie, where she's around the first movie, not in a suit, but clearly the more capable person of taking care of the business at hand in the first movie, but Hank can't see it and won't allow it. So now that at the end of the first movie, oh, here's the suit, I think it's time. Evangeline and I talked a lot about, you know, her fighting style, her confidence, everything about that character. And it really is like her story. Like, it's, you know, it's both Hank and her mission to find her mom, but like, we really wanted to, we start the movie with a scene where you sort of see young Hope.
Right.
And the effect that the loss of her mom had on her.
Right.
And that emotionally, I think, drives her through the whole movie.
Yep. Now, another question I have is, like, everyone loves trilogies. Any ideas that you have floating in your head for a trilogy, and do you think we can get something kind of like The Incredibles, where it's like a family adventure thing? Because you got Cassie, you got Hank, you
Yeah.
know, Scott, Hope.
We have tons of ideas, and we had, as we were developing this one, we had a lot of ideas that we moved away from, you know, during the process. And if we're fortunate enough to do a third one, we all have tons of ideas about where we think it will go. I mean, we really have, I think, only scratched the surface of the quantum realm.
Right.
And there are all these elements, I think, that we want to, you know, given the opportunity, explore. And I'm also excited by the Scott-Cassie dynamic.
So am I. Now, and I was just going to bring that up. I love that we kind of get a little foreshadowing for maybe Stature, possibly in the future, when she says that she wants to be her dad's partner. Now, we know that James Gunn kind of advised had some input on his Guardians characters.
Yes.
For the Avengers, Infinity War, and Avengers 4. Did you have the same kind of thing with Scott in Avengers 4?
Yeah, there's a lot of crosstalk, which is great, you know, amongst directors. And again, even on the first movie, I had the Russos come in and look at early cuts of just to see how Paul was playing Scott Lang to inform what they did in the Civil War. And Marcus and McFeely, who are writing the Avengers movies, we all, you know, talk about what the overall arcs are going to be, so everyone is in sync about all this stuff. I can't say much more than that, or I'm going to get a wasp dart in my neck. But yeah, that's one of the exciting things, is keeping this movie a self-contained thing,
Sure.
but obviously being aware of how things fit into the larger universe. It's a really fun, creative exercise.